frequent ejaculation causes low testosterone. He lacks willpower. He lacks motivation. A man who's constantly ejaculating, he has no control over himself. He has no control over his sexual impulses. Therefore, he is easy to control. He has low testosterone, so he makes a good slave, basically. What's up, guys? I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so that you can magnetize your ideal life. If you're interested in learning more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos. Make sure you grab my free ejaculation control guide. There's a link in the video description below. Porn is a weaponized system, and I'm going to break down in this video how it's a system of control and a system of repression and how it's affecting you and how you can get out of it. So I'm going to share some information in this video that may shock you, some things I've never talked about before, but I think it's about time. So porn is a control system that's been systematically put into place. The widespread availability of porn is no accident. It's systematically placed there for specific reasons. So porn turns men into addicts. When you look at porn, you get a hit of dopamine. Dopamine's that chemical that's released in the brain. Typically, it's released when we've accomplished something, like you work hard, working out or something like that. It's typically released when we've done something and we feel good. Well, when you look at porn, you get that same release. It releases during sex, during reproduction. And so it releases during porn because you're clicking video after video, you're getting hit after hit of dopamine. The brain says, okay, something's going on here. This much dopamine is not supposed to be released. And so it starts to desensitize itself. It closes down the dopamine receptors, which means that you feel at this really low state when you're not looking at porn. So you seek out more porn or other addictive behaviors, other dopamine releasing behaviors. So this often leads to, looking at more and more porn, looking at, weirder, more hardcore porn, or taking drugs, all these other addictive patterns, because you need to get that dopamine fix because your brain chemistry is out of whack and triggers you to constantly masturbate, constantly ejaculate, and throw your life force down the drain. A man who's constantly ejaculating, his testosterone levels are low because frequent ejaculation causes low testosterone. He lacks willpower. He lacks motivation. A man who's constantly ejaculating, he has no control over himself. He has no control over his sexual impulses. Therefore, he is easy to control. He makes a good slave, basically, and is easily controlled. And constantly watching porn really turns people into animals because it gives them this purely physical and distorted view of sex, where it's all about just, dominating your partner and just trying to get this short-lived physical pleasure experience, completely limited to the genitals, closed off from your heart connection, from your spiritual connection, which is what sexuality truly is. It's part of our spirituality, but it's been so distorted in this modern world because of how we've been conditioned to see sex that we're only experiencing it from these lower levels. And that's how watching porn conditions us, is to basically be animals and to be stuck in these lower centers of our body our entire lives. So again, a man who's constantly watching porn is addicted to porn, and he's usually addicted to other things as well. He has no willpower and he's draining his energy, so he's easy to control. So porn viewing is so common worldwide. It's like 1 in 10 men claim to be addicted to porn, and many more than that, I'm sure, are not saying anything about it. So it's safe to say that many men in the world are under control. So who would want to be controlling men? Well, when you look at all of the other systems set into place, here in the West, our food is weaponized, through genetic modification and adding chemicals, spraying pesticides and things like this, turns our food literally into poison, which makes us sick and disease-ridden. Our water is poisoned, fluoride, all these different chemicals that are put into our water, literally poisoning our bodies. Our air is poisoned. There's never been a higher amounts of aluminum in the air and in our food, in the environment as well. And this aluminum builds up in the body, causes Alzheimer's. It causes an inability to focus. Overall, worldwide, people's focus, their ability to focus is worse than it's ever been, and things like Alzheimer's are becoming more and more common. And to add to this, the amount of EMF radiation we're experiencing is affecting us in very negative ways. And these things go in conjunction with each other, because when you have all these heavy metals in your body like aluminum and you're getting hit with EMF waves, because these metals are conductive to these electrical signals, it amplifies it. And once 5G comes on, it's going to be a whole nother level. We're living in a battlefield, but people have no idea. You have no idea that your food in the shelves of grocery stores is a weapon. The water that's in your city's drinking supply, it's a weapon. The air you're breathing is a weapon. The porn that's popping up on your computer every day, it's a weapon to keep you under control. Try to make you forget the power that you have as a human being, the power that's in your sexual energy, the power that's in your semen, and cause you to just throw it down the drain, to just waste it away, to waste your life force and waste your potential as a human being. So someone out there is trying to control you. You know, it's difficult to say exactly who, but it's no big secret that all the power in the world belongs to a very small group of individuals who for thousands of years have understood the principles and really the science of controlling massive populations. And I'm not trying to get all dark and gloomy here, but just trying to make you see the situation that we're in. But the thing is that all you have to do is wake up. All you have to do is see the system that you're living in right now, the systems of control that are in place, and you can liberate yourself from it. So there's another layer to this porn epidemic. You know, so there's all these dark forces on the planet. You know, it's no big secret that the planet's been controlled by dark forces for thousands of years. There's all of these entities in the astral realm which are involved with the porn business. You know, one of my teachers, Michael Wynn, calls this the internet sex beast. It's really this collective entity that's feeding on people's sexual energy, because when you're looking at porn, when you're masturbating to porn, you know, you're connecting with something. You know, you see this image of a person and you're sending your energy to that. But something on the other side is receiving that energy. And when you're masturbating and ejaculating, you're draining your jing, your life force. Jing is your physical essence. You're draining that every time you ejaculate. But where is this going? You're literally feeding these collective thought forms, these astral entities that start to form, because men are throwing away all this energy and it's going somewhere, you know. And so in the astral realm, there's all these entities that are saying, hey, there's all this juicy sexual energy, you know, they're just throwing it out there. I might as well have a meal here and feed myself up with all this sexual jing that's being thrown away. So pretty soon, you've got this sort of astral parasite that starts to latch onto you. It's feeding off of your sexual energy and you're feeding it. And this is one of the reasons why porn is so addicting. You know, it goes beyond just the dopamine release. When you look at it this way, the foods that you crave, you know, if you're craving sugar, usually means that there's, you know, the bacteria in your intestines are feeding off of sugar. And so you crave sugar because you have this bad bacteria that's eating that, or you have yeast or something like that. So it's actually the composite of the beings living in your body that's giving you these different food cravings. Well, it's very similar to porn. You know, you have these beings living in your energetic field somewhere, and they're feeding off of your sexual energy, and you interpret that as, oh, I just really have the desire to look at porn and ejaculate. I know this may sound a little bit out there, but this is what's going on, guys. When you start to do spiritual work, when you start to meditate, you start to clear your conditioning and realize that a lot of the things we were taught in school about the history of the planet, about the things we take as facts about our world, are not entirely true. And you start to see that the entire universe is alive and it's full of beings. And, you know, some beings have different agendas, we could say, you know, and again, those who are controlling the planet clearly do not have our well-being as their highest priority. So we like to think that, you know, as humans, we're highest on the food chain here on Earth, but we're really not. It's more like we are, you know, we're actually caged animals. You know, we're put into this control system. We're fed all this fear through the media, through the news. You know, we're fed all this porn, all these distorted imagery, and people are living their lives in this cloud of negative emotions, of fear, of chaos. And someone is feeding off of this, you know, someone is benefiting from this. You know, our pain, our suffering, our fear, our wasting of our sexual energy, that's feeding something else. So just some things to be aware of. So how do you start to break this pattern? How do you get out of this system of addiction, of draining your energy, and get out of these patterns? This is where self-mastery comes in. You know, I started practicing exercises, having this realization about the situation of our world, what's really happening, the control systems in place, and the fact that many of us are slaves, led me to study the Taoist practices, all of these different paths, these ancient spiritual paths. And what I found was that through my practice, you know, practicing Qigong, practicing yoga, meditation, breath work, I started to reclaim my own energy, to get clear in my mind, clear in my body, and to be able to protect myself from all of these outside negative influences, which we are constantly bombarded with every day. Once you build your microcosmic orbit, this pathway up the back, the body, down the front, you have a boundary. Your energy starts to become coherent. It flows through the body in a harmonious way. Instead of, you know, so many people, their energy flow is erratic. It's scattered to the outside world. They're sending out all their energy. when you do internal practice, you cultivate a clear pathway of energy and it starts to stabilize your field. This means that you're no longer absorbing everyone else's bullshit. You're no longer being bombarded with all of this chaos. Your energy is clear. You're circulating your orbit. You're refining your energy. It charges your battery, so to speak. It keeps you charged. And this is how you stay balanced and in harmony in this world. And being able to consciously tap into your sexual energy as a creative force and as a force of health, of drive, of energy, it's life-changing, guys. So this is why I'm so passionate about sharing sexual kung fu and sexual kung fu practices. So if you're interested in learning some of these practices, which are going to really help you to find better things to do with your time than look at porn, check out my Qigong playlist, check out my breathwork playlist. There's lots of really great exercises in there. You start implementing those into your daily routine, I guarantee it will change your life. And if you want to really go deep into the stuff, really master your energy, your sexual energy, and stay in the flow 24/7, check out my 6-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man. A lot of guys who've gone through the course say that the practices in the course are better than drugs. I've had guys who went from lasting 5 minutes in bed to lasting hours by taking this course. So definitely check that out. I'm launching that in early January 2020, and I launched it every 3 months if you're watching this in the future. So thank you for watching this video. Please like this video. Leave a comment below. What do you think about all this information I just dropped? So please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. What do you think about all this information I just dropped? Have a great day, my friends.